So, another story, another day, another piece of news that constantly fuels my idea about psychological projection being a terrible thing that's going on in society and causing terrible social drama, psychological drama within our media and our social lives. If you haven't seen the news yet, you probably won't come across it because I believe it's going to be kept quiet. But Lydia Mugambe was found guilty of trafficking an individual into the United Kingdom illegally and using them as slave or forced labor. Essentially, this woman that was a UN judge took a woman from Uganda, or let's say person because I'm not quite sure on the gender, and had them as a slave to make them and their life easier in the United Kingdom. If you have a second, go into the description and follow the link that I have there. It'll show you a video of her arrest. It's really interesting because she tries to cite all of this diplomatic immunity, but never quite fights the crime or never says she didn't do it. The reason I bring up this story is I find it really interesting because it brings back into mind my whole idea about psychological projection. All of these people that are claiming ethical and moral superiority over other people and pointing fingers at them for being terrible human beings, for being Nazis, for being Hitler, blah, 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 are them themselves within their heart and their psyche actually the perpetrators of the things they point at and identify in other people. Something is collectively and psychologically going wrong within our society. I don't know if there's a collective consciousness that is corrupted, but socially, morally, and ethically, we have been corrupted. I don't know if it's a lack of spirituality within the human psyche. I don't know if that somehow translates to a corruption within a person's mind, creating a narcissistic force that they can't self-identify or work on. But something is happening that we need to fix collectively. Because this isn't just a me problem or a they problem. This is our problem because it's happening on a mass scale. There is a pandemic, but it's not the one anybody's talking about. It's the one that's ripping families apart. It's the one ripping communities apart. We need to fix what's going on because otherwise those same people that are calling you a terrible human being are the ones actually doing terrible crimes in the background. They're the ones that'll gladly send you to the chambers for crimes they are committing themselves. Something has to be fixed before we take a step so far that we cannot fix. And this example of Lydia Mugambe and her being convicted of owning a slave, which I'm sure it's just called forced servitude, but it's actually a slave, is an example that needs to be taken to heart because I'm sure more of this hypocrisy and psychological projection is happening in the world. Be aware of those that point fingers at everybody else. Look within if you want to fix things.